going to do a little piece to camera, PCC it's called, piece to camera. So, yeah. So today we're going to make white sauce. Now I've been meaning to do this for a long time, because it's kind of like gravy without the gravy bit. So it's really important, and I think you should learn how to do this because it's brilliant. So what we've got here is going to have a pan with we're going to put the mixture into. You're going to need milk, yeah. You're going to need a flavouring. We've got nutmeg today. You're going to need some butter, and it has to be butter. Some plain flour, and then other flavourings you want. So what I'm going to teach you first of all is just to make the white sauce. So all you need to make the white sauce is these two, flour and butter, and it's very easy to do. Okay, very easy to do, and I wish I'd learnt this a long time ago. Like 25 grams, so that's like 25 grams, yeah. The measurements on there, that's like a 50-gram block, and I've taken half of that, so that's 25 grams, and we just push that into the pan, and we'll melt that down. So you want the heat on this. You want to keep the heat on this about half, yeah, all the time. So we're going to melt the butter. We're going to get the butter completely melted, and then we'll add the flour into it. Oh yeah, you need a whisk. Definitely need a whisk. Don't try this without a whisk, otherwise it will turn lumpy. So we're melting the butter down here until the butter's completely melted into it. You don't want to brown it, we just want to melt it. And this is what they call a roux sauce. Did you know that? Yes, it is. It's called a roux sauce. This is an easy way of making a little sauce. So all the butter's melted in there. Now we go in with a big tablespoonful of flour, like that, straight into it. And then what we need to do is to mix that flour and the butter together. So what we're trying to do is make a paste. So you can see how that has turned into a paste. That's the paste. It's still a little bit too sloppy, so we're going to put a bit more flour in. Just a little bit more flour in, because I want it to be quite a firm paste. Now, there's no measurement for the flour really. You just keep adding until it turns into a paste. A little bit at a time is the way to do it. All in there. And it'll all come together eventually and it's back into a paste again. That's just the nature of it all. So that's nice. It's back down to being almost a paste again now. That's okay. So next thing we need to do, now we've got the roux in that way, we go in with some milk. So this becomes a two-handed process pretty much. Now you keep adding milk, a little bit of milk in at a time. So add a little bit of milk, that's enough, and then we'll mix. And what will happen is, as you mix, the flour and the butter gets absorbed into all the milk, and what you end up with is a thicker paste. And you keep doing this. This is going to be life for the next 20 minutes. Oh, you can put cheese into this. You can flavour it with onions. You can put all kinds of different flavourings in. And by doing it this way, you don't get lumps either. So we'll whisk that off there. We'll whisk that off there. And we'll start doing this with the whisk now. So you can see how thick it's become. It's become thicker, and as the heat gets into it, it becomes thicker and thicker and thicker until it turns back into a paste.
what we need to do now, again, add a little bit more milk. Not too much, just enough. And then you spend your time and you whisk that. And it starts looking a little lumpy, but then it'll dissolve into the milk. Usually the whisk is the right way of doing it because it picks the lumps up. Now this is still on a little bit of heat. I've still got this on half a heat. And what you're doing is the milk warms up, it then all dissolves back into it and makes another paste. And you keep doing that and doing that and doing that. Well, and we'll skip forward in a little bit. Okay, so here we are back again, and I'm still mixing this now because we're making quite a bit here. If you only use a small amount of butter, you make a small amount of this. So as you can see, this is bubbling, and you can see it just gets thicker and thicker, and it gets so thick to the point that you can hardly mix it again. You have to keep whisking, otherwise it will burn on the bottom of the pan. So, little note to self here: just really keep it moving. But as it cooks, it thickens up. As you can see, it's getting thicker and thicker again now. And once it gets to too thick, you put a little bit more milk into it. So this is like getting really quite thick. We'll put a little bit more milk in again, just a little bit, and then we'll mix that milk into it. That makes it all go sloppy again. And you're going to keep doing that until it doesn't go thick, and then that's what you're left with. So if you keep adding a little bit of milk, and then once it starts going thick, then it's ready. And then we just have to make sure that we've cooked out the flour enough. When you do that by tasting it to see whether it's feels gritty in your mouth, I think is the right expression. Gritty in your mouth. Okay. So here we are. I finally put another 2 lots of milk in there, and now it's bubbling away quite nicely. It's nice and thick. So at this stage, what you would do, you would test it to see whether it tastes silky or not. So, yeah, if it's silky, if it's gritty, then it's not right. If it's silky, then it's perfect. So that's the base white sauce. Now what you do with that is from here you would add flavour. So for us, because we're making a parsley sauce, we're going to add parsley in. So here we are adding some chopped parsley into it. Now what you can do is put parsley, finely chopped, it's been told. So if you were making a cheese sauce, not parsley you wouldn't put in there, you'd put cheese in there. If you were making a onion sauce, you would very finely chop an onion and add an onion into it. As you can see, that's now a parsley sauce. We're adding a little bit of nutmeg for a little bit of seasoning into this, because nutmeg's quite nice with it, just a little bit of that. And we'll put some salt in as well, because salt's important. So I've got some sea salt here, and I'll put a little pinch of sea salt in, and then I'll leave that to mature for a little bit of sea salt going in, mix it all up, and that's the base sauce. That's my white sauce done. That's your gravy, and you can flavour it however you like.